All right, we're here for our next session, which is with DexGuru. They'll be doing a talk on the road to Guru DAO or bottom up DAO. And I'll let him take it from here.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. My name is Maxim. I'm a product manager at DexGuru. Today, I would like to share our experience how we're building a DAO bottom up, unlike other communities, and discuss our vision of the DAO evolution process. So, what is DexGuru? I would like to start with introduction. What is DexGuru? So, DexGuru is a Web3 platform that provides on-chain analytics, a swap tool, multiple chains, and DEXs, the result of a process for any level trader. Put simply, DexGuru offers data. We work hard to gather all relevant on-chain data to then present it to DexGuru users in a helpful and efficient way for DeFi traders. Data is collected from 8 AMV-compatible chains, so DeFi traders on Avalanche, Ethereum, Arbitrum, and other chains can enjoy the same trading experience when analyzing their favorite tokens. This is done by monitoring many unique DEXs and their pools for liquidity changes, trades, and price movements. To complete the all-in-one trading experience, DexGuru offers a swap tool. The swap tool allows users to buy and sell spot assets directly from the DexGuru terminal without using a separate protocol. Transactions are collected and processed by the 0x API, offering the best exchange rate for your trades. Our mission is continue gathering more data and offering more tools for the DeFi trader to ensure there is no need to go anywhere else for a DeFi terminal. So, why Guru DAO? Why we started to create it? Without a doubt, last year was full of DAO launches, more successful and less, and it gave us time to analyze the experience and deeply research the topic. At the end of last year, we started our research to analyze what the DAO approach can bring to our product and community. Despite the variety of different DAO streams like protocol, service, operating systems DAOs, and so on, a product-driven DAO was still new to the market. So it required us to rethink approaches and try to reestablish the product development process in Web3 reality. Based on our research, we defined the following points as to why DAO creation would be beneficial to the team and community. So the first one is speed up development. Web3 is very competitive landscape, and to stay on the industry edge, it's important to attract the best specialists and contributors. DAO helps to create such environment. DAO opens way for more people mutually beneficially to participate in our project as contributors and get paid as stakeholders. The next thing is voice of community. As you know, product development without customer development is worthless and pointless. But what is the best way to get customer feedback? Yes, you're right, build the product together. If every user participates in product discussions, share their opinion, and even has a financial interest in product growth, it creates the best customer development environment where the product is exactly what users want. Due to the consensus mechanism, it doesn't turn to the mess of features, but crystallizes into a reasonable set of product decisions. The next point why we decided to create the DAO is integration of Web3 infrastructure. When token is still the top popular question inside and outside of the community. Wrap up the product into ecosystem and transform economic into tokenomic, open wide opportunities for collaboration with other Web3 projects, and integrate it into infrastructure on a deeper level. Also, DexGuru provides public API, and DAO could become a platform for a wide range of analytical products developed by DAO. And the last thing is building in public with community. If you're familiar with the concept of radical transparency, you probably know what it means. From Web3 world, GitLab is a good example. You can read about it. In short, radical transparency is the idea of everyone knows everything. Talking about our product is the way to make development and prioritization process open to DAO members as users, contributors, and stakeholders. It helps to build our brand and trust in the product, which is really important when people rely their trading decision on our data. Once we sorted out why we need a DAO, let's figure out how to create it. In other words, we face a challenge in creating a model of DAO evolution and development from the simple form to the more complex one. Talking about distributed organizations, it's important to mention the Institutional Analysis and Development Framework designed by Elinor Ostrom, an American political scientist, who was the first woman to receive Nobel Memorial Prize in Economic Sciences in 2009, and her colleagues from the Austrian workshop in 2005, facilitating the analysis of institutional processes through which individual and collective choices occur. Their main focus was on the institutional distributed structures that share common goods and resources, and on how these commons can be managed in a sustainable way, balancing individuals' use with the interests of wider public. One of key principles of Ostrom is polycentricity, or in the context of DAO, multiple layers of government, working groups, sub-DAOs, working domains, and different levels or tiers of participation. That's why we built our model of DAO evolution based on the system of interacting sub-DAOs. Regarding our model, the DAO lifecycle has four main stages. Of course, in real DAO, some steps can be skipped or take place in different order. Some DAO will never reach the later stages, and that's okay. So the first step, as we can see, is a pre-DAO. It always starts when a small group of people reveals their product to public. At this step, every DAO project acts in a similar way to traditional business. Governance, decision-making, and financial streams are centralized within single authority. In this step, there is no community yet, only founders. So the next step within pre-DAO is community building. Once concept of project gets shape, founders create more exposure around the project to attract the attention of new followers. Community starts to act as an advisor and source of feedback. It is the point where DexGuru was initially before we started building our DAO. And the last step during pre-DAO stage is preparation for the DAO launch. This step occurs once a solid group of highly engaged community members gets formed and the core team ready to start delegating some governance rights to the community. It's important that for the founding team and community to work together on an image of future DAO, rules, vision, goals, and structure. The next stage is flat DAO. Once we have our DAO created, it's still in early stages. There is no organizational structure, just a flat community. The founders are mainly responsible for project development, roadmap, strategy, even though they are part of DAO and have responsibility in front of them. But once community gets bigger and harder to coordinate, evolutionary centers of product specializations, expertise of business domains start to arise. It forms dedicated centers like departments of working groups, squads, or sub-DAOs. The process can be bottom-up when most engaged community members initiate the process. Sub-DAO may include internal structure, governance, leadership, and treasury, and are responsible for reporting to the DAO, approving budget and KPIs, but are independent of the internal operations perspective. At the DAO stage, founders finally becomes a part of the community as one of the department working groups of DAO. It acts as any other sub-DAO without preferred status, and the whole framework is governed by community and community rules. A founding team may be rotated, replaced, or dismissed based on community decisions. Finally, DAO fully operates as a decentralized organization. Post-DAO is a potential step when one or many sub-DAOs become more independent from the DAO and start acting as a completely independent body and stop reporting to the DAO. The interaction can be in form of partnership or equal bodies or can be stopped at all. Well, a great example of Gnosis DAO and its side project CoSwap, which becomes fully independent. It's important to have a predefined mechanism of sub-DAOs withdrawal to keep this process painless and secure stakeholders' interests. As a DAO, DexGuru or Guru DAO is still in pre-DAO stage. In the second half of the presentation, I would like to spend more time on our experience and takeaways. The main idea of the pre-DAO phase is to provide the community with the rights and means to shape the DAO from the very beginning. Early DexGuru adopters and partners were granted to mint Season Pass NFT that allows them to participate in DAO bootstrapping and governance. The goal was to establish all required mechanics that will allow DAO to develop further. It's important that DexGuru team has no NFT or vote rights in the process. It's purely governed by the community. Such approach is radically different from what we can see on the market. Usually, core team creates a basis for the community, define rules, manage process, and invites people to participate when everything is ready, how team wants. It's a popular approach, but significantly less decentralized. In our case, we provide decentralization from the scratch, allowing people to decide by themselves and act only as advisors to the community. Based on the research, we can define several topics that should be considered and established before DAO is ready to operate in full. So it's mission, goals, values, tokenomics, governance, treasury management, tools and platforms, structure of DAO, decision-making process, decentralization plan and timeline, uh, sub-DAO, including sub-DAO withdrawal from the DAO, minority token holders, voting capabilities. The end of this stage is DAO launch or token generation event. As I mentioned earlier, we believe that sub-DAO should be a basis for DAO. In this case, in the case of product-driven one, it's especially important because product development involves a less scalable task rather than protocol support or crowd investing, for example. So basically, what do we understand under the name of sub-DAO? Sub-DAO is a form of organizational structure within DAO that can operate with complete autonomy while remaining aligned with the parent DAO. Um, yeah, we see three major principles around sub-DAOs. Autonomy, which implies its own treasury and internal governance. Alignment means sub-DAO has its values and goals that aligns with parent DAO. And accountability. In other words, sub-DAO reports to parent DAO in accordance with provided funding. At the DAO pre-DAO stage, we implemented all of these principles in the form of proposals. In other words, from the early beginning, community has the capability to create internal structures, self-organize, and contribute to the parent DAO. The idea was discussed with community and ratified via the snapshot poll. It's important to note that Guru DAO will not micromanage any sub-DAO and will provide it with all necessary rights to operate per its goals and KPIs. When addressing internal sub-DAO issues, it's not necessary to create a Guru DAO-wide proposal, but instead the sub-DAO will give in full autonomy to move forward on its own. Each sub-DAO has the rights to define its own structure to pay, to seek outside sources of funding, communicate, and cooperate with other sub-DAOs. Moreover, creating a sub-DAO requires a formal proposal only if it's requesting funding from parent DAO. Otherwise, Guru DAO members may assemble to create a sub-DAO and carry out tasks without approval of a formal proposal. Sub-DAO creation proposal is only required when sub-DAO is looking for funding from the DAO. But also we went further and transformed DexGuru team into sub-DAO called Dev Sub-DAO. As I previously said, we are not a core team and we don't want to make any community-wide decision on behalf of DAO. In one of the first proposals, we defined boundaries, what we're responsible for and what we are not. We're not taking responsibility for DAO decisions, only for DexGuru product development. Next thing is funding. For first 12 months, we will use our internal funding, but after that, we will request funding via general governance process from the DAO. There is no preferred status for us. Reporting. We stated when, how, what we should report to DAO to get additional funding. It will be DAO who evaluates our performance, provides or does not provide funding, adjust goals and milestones, or replace us with a different team. Sub-DAO exit. As for any other sub-DAO, there is a full independence in terms of internal structure and governance, limited only by shared goals and funding. Dev sub-DAO can be discounted by DAO or replaced with another team, as well as sub-DAO can work with external counterparts and seek funding outside of the DAO. So, what takeaways, what lessons can we learn from all of this? First of all, community involvement is not an easy process. When there is no single authority, it takes time for the community to self-organize. It's great that the process is going and getting momentum, but definitely it takes time. To help community, almost every week we conduct educational webinars to discuss DAO building topics and best practices. We believe that this is a good approach since it motivates people to learn and grow together. New proposals are developed and created, and the core community starts to form. Another takeaway is a potential Sibyl attack and airdrop farmers. Unfortunately, investigation shows that there is a lot of NFT season passes were farmed or bought by airdrop farmers. Good news, the community identified it by themselves and is working on rules and regulation to prevent potential Sibyl attack before token generation event. Next thing is balance voters and airdroppers. Inevitably, not every member of pre-DAO is interested in building the DAO. Someone just looking for airdrop. It blurs the focus from DAO building to discussion when token and when airdrop, but we believe when such members lose their interest in Guru DAO, it allows more dedicated persons to raise their voices. Especially it's important now on the bear market when quality means more than quantity. And I would like to finish my speech on the bright side. We're really overwhelmed by how many members are open to participation and contribution. We saw intensive discussion and a lot of proposals on how to establish ground rules of the DAO and make things work together. That's really awesome. Uh, so um, that's it for my presentation. I try to be on timing. So please join DexGuru Discord and Twitter and my Twitter and LinkedIn if you have any questions or interested in the topic. I will be happy to answer all of them. Also join the DexGuru YouTube channel where you can find our educational webinars and weekly talks. Thanks.
Thanks. This was really great. We're going to transition to our next talk now. Thank you.